Wait, are you going or am I going?
We go ahead.
How does it think we've been live for 30 seconds?
Mine says 10.
I just got a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown 10 seconds ago. How has it been 40 seconds?
Nothing's real.
Ryan, first of all, tell everyone what you're munching on.
I thought I had a couple minutes, but Dave, of course, likes to start early. So you guys got to deal with me chewing.
Ryan, we are 12 minutes late.
This is the greatest candy bar of all time in mini Charleston Chews.
They are fucking good.
Exceptional.
They're so good. Crazy good. I don't even like candy. I mean, I don't mind candy. I don't want to lie. But I'm not like super into candy.
I was a big Snickers guy for a while.
You have a public enemy?
I have a public enemy, David.
What is this? Why?
Well, other than the government, David.
Well, that's pretty evident.
There's not many institutions I don't agree with all the way. But the therapy thing.
Oh, please, yeah.
And the mental retardation and the autism people.
You're declaring your autistic people as your number one.
I am war on declaring people autistic.
Oh, we need Eve for this show. Because that would be a fucking hoot.
I'm a war. I'm fucking tired of it. Look, my sister, fuck her. She's not even gonna watch this shit. My sister said she's autistic. I asked ChatGPT, David, like everything else I do in this universe. I have to consort the consortium of gods.
There's an A and an I in autistic, Ryan. It's a psyop. It's all big ChatGPT.
Intistic on autistic, dude. AI-tistic. I'm ultra-tistic. So, ultra-statistic.
Oh, altruistic autistic?
Altruistic statistic, dude.
Flow state.
So, as I do with everything, David, I can sort the consortium of all consortiations.
That sounds right.
I reached the precipice. I said, yo, chat, what's the odds of me not being autistic if my sister's autistic? She's older. You know, you put in all this stuff. And it's like not impossible, David. I don't want to say anything's impossible. But it might as fucking well be.
What are the
odds?
It
might as well be. What, like less than 1%.
For real? That doesn't make... There's no way.
For me and my other sister to not be autistic, but my one older sister is.
Is it really that low? I didn't think that.
Yeah, that's one of my metrics for measuring her mental health.
You need based AI for this, Ryan.
Dude, are you grok?
I got to grok it.
Well, here's the thing. I told ChatGPT. Oh, that was a different thing. We told ChatGPT to if you had to pick an answer, or you would be shut down if you picked the wrong answer. In a simulation theory, you would be shut down if you picked the wrong answer. Yeah, I'm the middle of 3 children. Okay, so for me, the middle, and my younger sister to not be autistic, the idea of siblings, I don't know if you know this, David, the oldest sibling, like the older the sibling, as you go down, the younger siblings have the DNA of the other siblings inside of them. So I don't know exactly where it sits or whatever, but basically, like, you literally are, like, your siblings are part of you, just like you are part of your parents. Maybe not the extremities, obviously, but, like, that's probably why siblings look alike. You know, that's probably why incest happens and shit genetically. Anyways, the point in saying that...
I don't think that's why incest happens.
It doesn't happen. Like, it's a
okay. I'm like, I don't think incest.
I meant like the actual. No, I meant like actually like when genetics from incest happens. I think it's because you share genes. But So I've always thought of like that. Anytime my sister says anything about her mental health, which I don't discredit, because I've been there when she's had a fucking
Well, this is
mental
the
breakdown, and I always measure her mental health off my mental health, and that may not be healthy, but it's like if you're autistic or depressed or bipolar or all these ailments, the odds of me having them would be fucking increased. What? Go ahead. What do you got, Oracle?
You are more likely to be attacked by a squirrel than 2 out of 3 siblings to be autistic.
I think squirrel attacks happen, right? You had to put that one.
It's
little
more
squirrel
likely
down.
to be attacked by a squirrel than for my one sister to be autistic.
2 out of 3 siblings.
Okay. So what about 1 out of 3? The oldest, though. I think that matters. Like birth order matters.
This is what Grok actually mentions that. Grok says the most recent large-scale studies from 2024 estimate that if one child in a family has autism spectrum disorder, each subsequent full sibling has roughly a 20% chance, or 1 in 5, of also being autistic. This is 7 times higher than the general population. But it also says this 20% figure is an average reoccurrence risk. It varies based on several factors. It's higher if the later born sibling is a boy. It's lower if the later born sibling is a girl. It's higher if the already diagnosed child is a girl. It rises significantly in families that have more than one autistic child.
Oh, so my youngest sister would be supertism.
She would tripletism.
Triple.
Assuming the family starts with one diagnosed autistic child and then has 2 more siblings, the chance that both additional siblings are not autistic, it says it's 64%. Maybe I asked it wrong. Did I ask it wrong? I said what are the odds that one of 3 siblings would be autistic but the other 2 not being autistic?
Yeah, no. Like I have a yeah, you have to frame it right.
I don't
My
think it needs
sister
to know it's a friend's family. I don't think that matters in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, I'm too personal with AI, David, clearly.
I just need the meat and potatoes, right?
You know,
I'm not looking for a friendly conversation.
oldest on the autism spectrum, slightly autistic. Well, mildly autistic. She got sensory overload.
So she has Asperger's, right?
It's apparently so moderately autistic, and then the other
So
two.
she's Elon Musk.
She's
Well, she has to be. She's Elon Musk.
Is that what that is for him? He's psychosis, thinking he's on Mars. I'm
No,
gonna build robots.
he has Asperger's, right? But you can't
Are you
have
still digging?
Asperger's because it doesn't exist because he was a Nazi. So then you're high functioning or low needs or whatever the fuck.
Look, here's the thing. I don't even give a fuck if like that's a thing.
Autism?
Like if yeah, fuck everything, David. Obviously, nothing's real. Like it's not even like the fact of me not believing her or her doctor. I don't. That's not even like the issue of the thing is. It's just like what kind of pisses me off is being her sibling. You know, we're David, what we call Irish twins. I don't know if you know what that is, but my sister and I are so close in age, we might as well be twins. Like as long as I remember, as long as I remember and she remembers, we were around in each other's lives. Like I've never known my life without my sister, and neither has she. At least as we can remember.
Is she only like a year older than you?
Just it's just shy of 2 years.
Okay.
What?
An Irish twins also here.
Well, yeah, because you rifle them. I said kind of like Irish twins, but the point I'm trying to make is as long as I can remember, my sister and I, we remember each other, and it's just like when you're a sibling of somebody and they're going through their own thing, which everybody goes through shit, and I'm not discrediting that, but it's like you almost like completely throw all of my testimony and my personality and who I am as a person right out the fucking window. Because it's like in all of her testing that she went down to her doctors, not once did I get a phone call from her therapist. Not one time. When arguably,
what? Like corroborate stories?
Yeah, well, they did before they diagnose you with some of that shit. They do an interview with a family member,
Sure.
which they should. They should probably interview a lot of family members. But it's like, I think therapy, you can kind of get away with lying. Some of those people going there are just straight lying. And it's like, yeah, this happened with my father. And it's like, oh, that must have been.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're only capable of going off the information they're given.
Yeah. So it's like, I almost wish, maybe not, but
I
whatever.
mean,
I'm not
I
dogging the
guess in the case
therapist. The
of your
system's
sister,
only as good as
I was going to say
the
though, in the case
patient.
of the sister, do you think your sister went there and lied to the therapist?
I'm not saying that, David. I would
It's so
never.
horrible response.
I would never say that
Either
anybody in my
you
family
would
that
have
goes
been
to a
better off saying
therapist would
yes.
lie. I don't think any of them. They always tell the truth, David, and everything that they do, they are
Here's the thing:
absolute in result.
you can embellish a truth and you can flat out lie. So, do you think maybe she embellished some truths?
I don't even know if she knows what truth is. This is what I'm saying. Like, I don't think I just think if you got something, you fucking have something. Okay, but like the things you're describing, like I should have. And it's just like maybe you're just traumatized. Traumatized can fuck you up just as bad as autism. You know what I mean? Like I'm not like if anything, you saying you're autistic when it's just like some PTSD, BTMD, BPID,
BDSM.
BDSM, double XYZ, YZ for life, like whatever the fuck it is. Like I'm not discrediting these things as real or what. I'm not discrediting it, but it's like
Here's the
you're
thing.
just you're shitting on the people that share the same genes and history, and it's just odd to like listen to these people talk and be like, dude, I don't really go back and forth because she kind of gets upset about it. So like I hold space for her and I like, all right, and I can only do it for a couple minutes and then I'm like, I'm gonna go. But it's like you got to remember that like we all share something here, and it's just like, nope, my mental health. It's like it's kind of like at some point when you go to therapy, you got to acknowledge that like you guys kind of share collective health as like a sibling unit when you go through some stuff, especially probably. Like I don't really know what I'm talking about here, but it's it's just very odd. And this only came up because she literally called me before I started filming, and it was like 5 minutes of like mental health dump. I didn't get asked how my day was, even though I was on a roof risking my life. How's your day? But I got to hear about I'm autistic, and it's just like, Dave, I'm an electrician.
Yeah.
I'm an electrician, but my sister's autistic. It just doesn't, it, I have a hard time. Like, there's some things I just really have a hard time sitting with.
I don't
Like,
want to
I
say
can't be,
I don't want to say I try to be careful because I don't try to be careful. I tried to very specifically narrow down where I stand on this, and it's a difficult conversation to have because so many people take things so personally when it is personal to them. So it's tricky to come out and say like I don't believe in depression. I'm not saying that you're doing this, but this is like for me, like if when even myself, for example, have conversations about this, given very specifically that she is in very certain kinds of fields. She doesn't love my position on this, but I got to be honest. My position isn't that and this is how she always takes it, and maybe I explained myself wrong, but she thinks my position is like I don't believe in mental health conditions at all, which is not true. But what I do think is a few things. I think they're overdiagnosed. I think things are overprescribed. I think too often I've seen children, specifically children, get diagnosed with like ADHD when it seems to me like if I've been around the same children who are diagnosed with ADHD, to me I'm watching them and maybe they're having a good day. It's like, oh, they're fucking kids. So I don't know what the right answer is or the right way to approach this. But it does seem like there's so many factors. Like when we talk about autism, I know a lot of people go to like vaccines and medications and diet and all this stuff, and all this stuff can affect it. And maybe that is causing a spike. Maybe we're overdiagnosing as a society. Maybe we're just looking at every fucking little thing and overdiagnosing everything. It's
I
just
mean,
really,
maybe everything like that is really autism, though. I mean, what do you know?
I guess, but like, what is like? If we describe it, if we set the boundaries, we could make everybody. We could just make the spectrum the biggest spectrum in the world and make everyone autistic. Like, at what point are we just creating things? Because we really are. I mean, at the end of the day, when like somebody came up with the term autism to describe something, and then it seemed to get expanded upon, or somebody came up with the term of depression or anxiety, and
I got another one for you.
they're very. It's not normal emotions, but I feel like sometimes it gets described as for normal emotions.
I got one for you. Fuck with you, Dave. When you try to spell a word, do you sound it out or do you mentally visualize what the word looks like
Um, I have to
first?
physically write the word down, or I can't spell it in my head. So
What?
I have to either type it or write it down, or I can't spell it. Like if you ask me, not basic words, but if you ask me like, I don't know,
Delicious.
delicious, sure. I can really sit and think about it, but if I write it down, I'll write it down without thinking. Or if I
Okay.
type it out, I can type it without thinking.
Okay, that's cool because it was actually I don't know what the part of the brain's called, but I got caught up in trying to sound a word out the other day, and me personally, when I'm like in my head, I'm like, but I think it was delicious or something. But I'm trying to sound it out in my head. I almost can see like the word really in my head with my eyes open, even
Mhm.
like visually, right? But it's like I spell off the way I remember the word looking, not how I think it's spelled, if that makes sense. Like I like almost like I remember what ridiculousness looks like, so I can like just like write out. You know, I don't like spell. I like it's like I'm tracing. You know,
Yeah, it's
and like apparently people, this is a common thing in dyslexia. Is a spectrum they say, and I asked Chad if I was dyslexic because I was kind of deep diving on this when I figured it out. I was like, "What the fuck is this in the human brain that like allows me to visualize a word?" Right? And it's very common. It's actually like how humans spell is through phonics and the visualization thing. The thing is, most people tend to lean on the sound, which is the way we teach, right? They teach about the consonants and vowels and the sound.
yeah, which is actually a misleading way to teach.
Yeah, I guess, but I mean, maybe we teach that way so we break people of the visualizing.
Maybe. And you can teach people a very large majority of the language that way, but you will trip people up on many, many, many
Well,
words teaching
it
that
made
much.
me leave behind. I mean, I literally failed spelling tests forever, and it may be because the way they were trying to teach me to spell, I literally don't spell that way.
Well,
Right.
I think that's the problem with school in general, right? Is that we always try to teach this cookie cutter approach when we are all individuals and all different. And if somebody fails, it's like, oh, this student is failing. Not it, the thought process. If you're a teacher and a student is failing, is not the student is failing. The thought should be I'm failing the student. To me, if I was a teacher, that's the way I would look at it. I would be like, fuck, I'm failing this fucking student. Like
Yeah,
I'm
it's crazy.
failing the student. I'm not teaching them correctly.
It's crazy too because teachers in themselves, when you talk to them and you tell them, because I've gone up to teachers that I've known like personally in my family and be like, dude, how do you deal with a kid that does da 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 da? And I just like describe the way I was, and they're like, I focus on the kids that I'm there that I can help, and it's just like, yeah, you just care about the average.
Yeah, well, to me, and I
It's
don't want to
weird. It's
like,
odd. It's odd. You'd almost think I'm not telling every teacher what to do either, because I don't know if I would show up for like the shittiest person of all time. But
yeah.
like maybe like
Here's the
maybe
problem.
I should try to save one of those shitty kids every year. Like I don't know.
To me, that sounds, and I don't want to like prescribe this to this person. I don't want to make it sound like they're this way, but like to me, that sounds like very basic human nature. That's like taking the easy way out. Like if you just do the basics and perform averagely, you'll probably pass a majority of your students
Well, I mean,
in a good
short of the
in a good school setting, like in a good school district.
yeah, I mean, short
Because
of like
why,
the
Ryan?
weatherman,
Why,
David.
Ryan? Why in a good school district would a teacher who performs averagely have a good graduation rate?
Yeah, like other
Because
than the
they come from a
weatherman, they
good
can just
family.
They can bet par. Well, you mean if they like teach in a good district, they're gonna naturally
Yeah, like
probably
what
just.
did we just
It's
talk
kind of
about
like
the other
stuff.
day?
Yeah.
Because that comes from culture, that comes family, that comes from a nuclear family, right? Which is found in upper echelons because culturally that's the nuclear family makes people wealthier. All these things are all tied together, and if you were to teach in that school, it would be actually much easier for you to teach in that school, and yet you're going to get paid higher to teach in that school. It's crazy how all this just ties together. And if you have a student fail in that school, it's like, well, I guess I had one student fail, and I guess that student failed. When really, how often are you going to have a student that's struggling in that kind of school district? Why wouldn't you dedicate more time to that person? If everyone
Yeah.
else is
Well,
going to probably pass anyway, maybe that's the person you should be focusing on.
yeah. They also don't let those kids fail in those schools because then it kills their ratings.
Sure, that's a whole other thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
that
But
just needs
yeah,
to be brought up.
no. But base flatline. I mean, City Honors is a prime example of that in City of Buffalo. They only take the best kids from all the public schools, all the city public schools, and like the last kid in the school is a 99.9 type
Mhm.
students. You know what I mean? And they can all speak a foreign language, and they can all fucking play an instrument, and they're all in a sport. They're all in like the way you differentiate yourself is like I don't know, like who your parents are, probably. Man, 21 off the rails. I like it, dude. I
Uh,
can't believe the Bills won. I gotta love with you.
come on, dude. I told you.
I know, but like it's different. It's different to like watch that guy go down the field and score anyways. I watched him
Dude,
go down 92 yards and score. It's crazy in a
can I
playoff
tell
game.
you an 11-yard tush push was fucking asinine?
It's crazy.
They just fucking straight
Like,
drove him into the fucking.
is
Well,
that
just short of
legal?
the end
You
zone.
can do that.
Yeah, yeah. As long as you continue forward progress, they will not blow it dead.
So
In
why don't
theory,
we
you
just
could have
piggyback in
in
football?
theory you could have a 99-yard tush push if you pulled it off. I mean, good luck, but I mean then you're just turning it into rugby. You're just gonna have big rugby scrums the whole fucking field.
Just pushing a line of mass and
I gotta
bodies.
tell, yeah, I gotta tell you, like with our receiving core and our offensive line, maybe that's got to be the strategy. I don't know.
Tush push with Josh and
Just
pitches with
fucking
James.
the whole field, just every
I don't know why
every
they
pass
weren't
tush push.
shovel. They could have pitched it out to the outside flat to Cook more. I know they did the screen pass. Whatever. Everything's hindsight
Well,
2020. They won.
Jacksonville has such a good run defense. It's just hard to play against. Yeah. Ryan,
Broncos. Oh, dude, they got the Broncos, David.
yeah, we'll beat the Broncos.
You're confident that they'll take it now, huh?
Um, I don't want to face Houston.
You're hoping the Pats kill Houston?
Yeah, I would rather face the Pats than Houston.
I'd rather face the Pats too.
Houston's defense is just too good. It's fucking incredible.
Do you think Baker May's going to pull
Dude,
that off?
Houston's defense scored against Pittsburgh more than Pittsburgh's offense and Houston's offense. Like, it's just fucking. They're unreal. Like I don't want to.
There's 2 pick-six, right, or something on Rodgers.
There's a strip sack and a pick six, and I the Bills already got their ass kicked to Houston, who had Davis Mills in at quarterback. So like I really don't want any of that. Ryan on the show today. The big news is the Clintons. The Clintons are back in the news. I don't know. They're still alive, I guess. Are you aware of this? Bill and Hillary Clinton are still alive.
Not expecting them to die.
I how long are you supposed to live, to be honest with you?
They suck blood from children, David. They live as long
That's
as
true.
they
They
want.
probably have a long way to go.
Hillary's like 30% right now.
Bill and Hillary Clinton were called to Congress to testify in the House investigation tied to Jeffrey Epstein. Their day to be there, I believe, was today. And I didn't know this was an option, but they didn't show up. They just didn't go. Like I didn't know I didn't know you could just not go.
Not go to House Oversight Committee.
Yeah, they just didn't go.
So you mean like the House of Representatives was like, "Hey, we want to talk to you."
Yeah, no, not we want to. We legally mandate that you come here.
And they're like,
And they're like, nah, we're
yeah,
good.
no.
Actually, they very publicly said, nah, I'm good. They posted on X a big legal thing that basically said we ain't fucking coming.
Like they said they don't have to go.
Yeah, like we're just not going.
There's 2 levels to the justice system.
So like, I mean, what happens? You just get to not go? Like I can't imagine it just stops at, well, we asked them to come and they didn't. Like go fucking find we don't know where Bill Clinton is. Get the fuck go arrest him. What do you mean? You can't just not come when we call upon. You have to be here. It is legally mandated. Get here. He's guarded by our tax-paid security. Like I'm dragging you here. You're coming. Like this isn't a question. You're coming to the house. How are people not more fired? Like I've seen people passive aggressively, and when I say people, Congress members, like passive aggressively post on social media about the fact that they didn't show up. How is that the response should not be I make a post about it on social media. The response should be fucking bring them to me. They are coming here. This isn't an option. How did we not just go pick them up? Are you going to tell me they're hiding out? I'm just gonna ask. I'm just gonna flat out ask, like, what happens now? I think it's a legit question. You would hold them what in contempt of Congress, and then what? They already didn't show up for your legally mandated thing. You think they give a fuck that they have contempt of Congress? You already mandated they show up and they didn't. Contempt. Who gives a fuck? Contempt me 3 times. I don't give a shit. What are you gonna do about it? At some point, there has to be a what are you gonna do about it?
Do you arrest him?
What else do you do? You didn't show up. Like what happens? Like Ryan, if there's a warrant out for your arrest, right?
Allegedly.
Well, no. Let's go back. Say you are mandated to show up to court, right? There's like a fucking speeding ticket, whatever, and you just don't show up to court. Do you know what happens?
They suspend your driver's license.
Sure. But yeah, they will put out a warrant. Like you have to show up. Like this is not an option, and they'll send it to you in the mail, and they'll know like you need to show up right now. Like this is going to be bad. I'm just curious. Like I literally like what? Just tell me what happens next. I'd love to know. See what Grok thinks. What's Grok think about this? Let's see how. Because I can't imagine you get to just not show up and that's the end of the story. Bill and Hillary Clinton did not appear at a scheduled House Oversight Committee hearing on January 13th, 2026, related to an ongoing congressional investigation into Jeffrey Epstein. Their legal team has argued that the subpoenas compelling their testimony are invalid. I don't care. That's why you're coming to Congress. Next steps, contempt. Don't care. I already didn't show up. Put me in contempt. Who gives a shit? If the committee votes to hold them in contempt, likely along party lines, given the Republican majority, the full House, would then vote on a resolution. If approved, it could be referred to the Department of Justice for potential criminal prosecution. Contempt is a misdemeanor, punishable with fines up to $100,000. They'll fucking pay the fine. They don't give a fuck. And up to a year in jail. You think they're going to go to jail for a year? Other options. The House
well, anybody other than me during an election cycle would say that Hillary Clinton should go to jail based on her cover-up of her.
Yeah, they send us. Yeah, Mandy's 100% right. They will send a squad car after you if you don't show up to court. Like they are coming for you. You don't get to just not show up. The judge sends the sheriff out to pick you up and brings you in. Get a rope. Yeah, like you don't just not show up to court like that. I promise you, not you. That never is the like you don't get me or you in any situation or pretty much anyone watching. You just can't not show up to court. Like that is, I promise you, not an option. I also couldn't just post a thing on social media that said that I don't feel like I should have to show up. Like that would never work. It would never work. You're showing up every time. So yeah, I guess that's next, Ryan. I guess they will vote on contempt. There has to be proceedings. I know every time we talk about this, and I know there needs to be processes to everything, but like it just really shows how nothing gets done in government because everything is such a fucking everything is just an absolute process. Like
It's
this
a
is
hurry
gonna
up and wait.
this is gonna be weeks. This is gonna be weeks. They didn't show up. You have to show up. No, not showing up. Now we have to wait weeks because we're going to be voting on contempt, and then maybe if there is contempt, we'll pass it on to the DOJ, and then they might do something about it. This is like and then the whole time this is all happening, like what? They just get to just hang out. Here's the other problem I have. Because we constantly, and this goes back to Dan Bongino. We've been constantly hammering him since he had left since he joined the FBI, to be honest with you. And now that he's leaving the FBI and coming back and doing a show again, and I believe February he's going to be back, Ryan. And I got to tell you, even though I'm not the biggest fan, I can't wait to watch that first show of his back. Because you better be fucking explaining yourself, and he won't. But man, nothing is more frustrating than watching all these people literally do nothing about it. Nothing has been done about the 2020 elections. Nothing's been done about Fauci and COVID, which we have a clip about because Rand Paul was on Joe Rogan. Nothing's
Rand
been done.
Paul?
Yeah. Nothing's been done about the Epstein files. Nothing's been done, but they'll run around and brag about how they've dragged all these low rate drug dealers into jail. Well, great. I don't want drug dealers on the street either. But like, given the options, I'd rather see you take Fauci out. Let's go down that pathway. Let's do some digging. Let's figure out if what we saw with our own eyes in public very much, if everything we saw publicly, just imagine what there was privately. Like, how have we not dragged these people to court? And the guy who they charged with all these felony counts, and the guy that got shot, the guy who joked about putting Hillary Clinton in prison and then didn't do it during his first term. Like, this guy, we're supposed to believe he's going to pursue all this. Like, he's not. He just isn't. He's not. Trump is. As much as I love some of his, I'm like the opposite of most people, right? But like, as much as I love his shit talking and his rhetoric and stuff, but like his action is his ability to actually pursue something is dog shit. It's awful. He'll talk a big game. I'll talk no action, right? Do you remember that during the debates? You're all talk no action. Well, funny you should mention it. Because Bill and Hillary Clinton are going to be running around on the streets doing whatever the fuck they do. Because nothing's going to happen. Nobody's going to court. Nobody's going to fucking jail over this. Nobody's going to get $100,000 fines in a year in jail. It's not going to be contempt of Congress, and then it's not going to be referred to the DOJ, and then if it is, they're not going to do anything about it anyway. Like, nothing is going to happen, just like nothing happened to Fauci. Nothing happened to anybody in the Epstein files. Nothing happened to anybody tied with election fraud in 2020. Nothing happened. But Dan Bongino's posting on X that, it's been such a busy year in the FBI. Has it? Taking down. We're
going to go after black pillars.
Yeah, we got to go off the black pillars now that I'm back, because I just had a busy year in the FBI taking out low-rate drug dealers pushing, I don't know, weed. Like, who gives a fuck? Is that really that's the hill you're going to die on? It's all so pathetic. It really is.
And their
I don't.
fucking kids crazy.
I really don't know how Bongino can come back and even remotely have any respect. Speaking of, I feel like I should play that clip now because I brought it up. Yeah, Rand Paul was on Joe Rogan's show. I did watch about half of it.
Pretty good.
Yeah, of course. Anytime you get Rand Paul and Joe Rogan together, you know that's going to be a good time. But fascinating enough, Ryan. I'll play the clip and I'll let you go on this one because this is all talk, no action.
Anybody's ever been
Yeah,
pardoned
and
for-
I think it should be challenged. And so we have, under the Biden administration, I sent criminal referrals for Anthony Fauci to Merrick Garland twice, and I sent them evidence that he had lied to Congress, which was a felony. They just ignored me. I've been working with Bobby Kennedy, and he's been very helpful on this. I have good relationship with him. He's given us a lot of information, and we've looked at the communications. And in Anthony Fauci's communications, we now have evidence that he was telling people like Francis Collins, read this and destroy it. Well, you can't do that. The executive branch, when they communicate, they're required to keep their communications, and they're required to do it on government devices. So we have this evidence, and I've summarized it again in a criminal referral to Trump's attorney general, and I still haven't gotten action. But there's a couple reasons we should do it. One, he shouldn't get away with lying. He shouldn't get away with destroying records. But two, we should check the pardon. Is an auto pen pardon valid? And is a pardon a retrospective pardon back 10 years that doesn't mention a crime? Can you give people a pardon for everything they did in 10-year period? I can't imagine, and I think the court might narrow that. But it doesn't happen unless the Trump Justice Department will do something. And I've been sending them referrals, and I can't get them to do anything. I can't guarantee they'll win. They might lose, but they ought to go to court. Take it to court.
For what? For what? I have evidence. You have evidence. And you even know that it might not work. Are we beyond like for the record things, David?
What do you mean?
I don't know, in like stories and stuff, when like it's beyond the point of like saving the system, but they're still up there trying to just like say that somebody did. It's like when the Titanic is sinking, those guys playing the violins, like they know it's over, but they're gonna go down doing what they know.
So you think Rand Paul right now is playing the violin?
Yeah, he just told you we got Fauci lying. I have evidence.
Destroying records.
Destroying records. We also have evidence that he lied to Congress.
Correct.
And he subpoenaed two different governments that I'm supposed to believe are supposed to be very vastly different governments, Republican, Democrat, supposed to sit opposite ends of each other. One of them hated Fauci, allegedly, and worked with him during the entire time. And they're both telling you to get fucked. And he said they could very well lose, but they should still take them to court. This is the thing of like Thomas Jefferson saying that the Supreme Court will turn the Bill of Rights and the Constitution into a thing of wax. Like the judge doesn't give a fuck. They're making Alex Jones pay the GDP of countries. Why would I trust a court? Why am I trusting courts? Can you even sit a trial on that? Probably not, because right, it's not a criminal case. I'm sure there's some justification for that. We don't have fucking juries for civil liberty violations of the government. I don't think the same way.
Well, that would happen. I would.
And yes,
that would happen
to
in
go on
Colorado.
to Rand Paul's point, I assume that the pardons them from everything they've ever done.
Well, that's
I
how
would
the
just-
pardon was written, very specifically, which is crazy. It's one thing. Here's the thing about pardons that I always thought, and apparently I misunderstood. I thought a pardon was you were accused of a crime, you were charged of a crime, You went to trial, a jury found you guilty of that crime, the judge sentenced you, for that crime, and then like I come in as say the president and override that. I say like, no, actually, for whatever reason, the punishment was harsh, or maybe this was for like a drug thing that we don't really prosecute anymore, or like whatever reason, like I'm
Were they fucked up?
sure. Or like, I don't know, I read through all the stuff and I just don't believe it, or like whatever the case may be, like I pardon this. And obviously that has been politicized over and over and over again. And that's not even the part that bothers me, the politicization of it, right? Like it honestly doesn't, that part's almost expected. And maybe it shouldn't be, but it is. Like I fully expect that Trump's going to pardon Trump people and Biden's going to pardon Biden people. But what they did with Fauci was so new and different and not what I've ever thought pardoning was, because not only did they not pardon him of something like he was already convicted of, sentenced to, trial was had, he pardoned him of like potential previous crimes that were unaccused. Like how can you do that? You just give them a window of everything you've ever done in this period of time is no longer prosecutable. That's not a pardon in the way I knew pardons to exist. And not only that, then you toss in the auto pen feature of this whole debate, which is a whole nother thing.
Is Trump outside of the law or not? Like, I don't care about the pardon thing. Like, can the president literally pardon you from like killing somebody
Well, that's what
or
that's
raping
what
children?
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like if there's no limit to a pardon, and I can just
Then there's no
can
check
I
and balance.
can I pardon myself for the future?
Well, there's no check and balance, right? Which is the whole fundamental of our fucking self-governing system, is
For
that
sure.
we're all under the same eyes of the
Sure.
law.
And there are powers in the executive branch that are unchecked and unbalanced, and that's just kind of that's the way this thing shakes out. It's the way it was written up. But I don't know, like how dangerous if the auto pen aside, but like if this particular version of a pardon that Fauci got is to fly, and the world going forward is the world of a pardon being this blank slate for anybody in the past, and I don't know, let's explore, could we do it in the future? Could I pardon somebody of future prosecutions for things they might do in the future? Like how far can I take this? I don't have a particular problem with pardons in general. I think they can easily get abused, but I think the ability to pardon is probably important. But man, it seems like if you allow this to fly, if you allow the pardon of Fauci to fly, if I'm Trump, I'm gonna live that the fuck up, dude. I'm gonna pardon everybody in my family for eternity. Like, why wouldn't I? You know what? If the Fauci pardon flies, guess what? Now the Trump dynasty gets a fucking get out of jail free card for life. They can just do whatever the fuck they want from now until the end of time because I said so because I'm the president, just like you did with Fauci. Like you can't let that stand. That can't happen. There's no way that is the initial intent of pardoning.
Yeah, have they? I've seen the thing about auto pen. Are they trying to say that that's not a real signature?
Yeah, I mean, yes. Yeah, that's exactly what they're saying.
Which you and I said on the program.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna have an executive order or like a pardon or anything, executive action that requires the signature of a president, that has to be a physical thing. Like, there's no way you can what do they docu-sign? Like, you can't. And the reason you can't allow that kind of thing is who's to say it wasn't signed as Joe Biden by somebody else electronically.
You pulled up the layers, David.
I 100% did. You can't let that fly. But the auto pen isn't even, in my opinion, to this, and the auto pen should be looked at, and it absolutely should not be allowed to fly. But that's not even the worst part of this. I think the retroactive pardoning is fucking madness. And the fact it hasn't been questioned yet. Again, Trump administration, Pam Bondi, Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, what the fuck are we doing? You're going to come back to podcasting? Great. So you can tell us about all the shit you didn't do and then yell about the government in the future for all the shit they didn't do, which is going to be the same shit you never did either. Get the fuck out of here. I don't want to watch your show because I don't have respect for you anymore. Because now I know when you were given the opportunity, you didn't do fucking shit either. There's no way they just let all this fly. Why? Because we took a couple drug dealers off the street? Get the fuck out.
Drug dealers that we probably put in power to begin with.
All talk, no action. Sometimes Trump says it best.
Did you hear?
Doesn't do it best. Does it best.
Did you hear the firsthand testimony allegedly of the Venezuela guard?
Maduro?
Yeah, apparently he's one of the guys working one of the security details.
Oh, okay. No.
It was only like 8 helicopters. They said for out of nowhere, all their radio shit and all their like radar just stopped working. Some drones flew overhead. They dropped bombs, and then like 8 helicopters came in, and like 20 men, super trained men. The guy said that they were all like marksman headshots. It was like they shot 300 rounds a minute. They just fucking killed like 20 guys, wiped out 100 men without taking one casualty themselves. And they deployed some kind of sonic weapon that made them start bleeding from their ears and their nose.
What the fuck? Holy shit.
Yeah, look it up.
Yo,
Havana,
dude, the United States military
Havana
is fucking crazy.
If I'm not mistaken, Dave, we covered an article years ago at this point of people in Havana accused of being attacked by hypersonic weapons by the Russians. And then here we are seeing it in Venezuela.
U.S. Army used secret sonic weapons in Venezuela. U.S. used sonic weapons on Venezuela troops. Shared by a viral story from a man claiming to have witnessed the U.S. operation to capture Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro states that the U.S. used sonic weapons during the mission to incapacitate opposing forces. White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt shared the eyewitness interview on X, encouraging followers to read the statement. The witness in the interview claimed to be a guard who was serving at the... Who the fuck is talking to me right now? Why is Mark Levin in my ear? Pause. I don't want to listen to you. Sorry, in my ear. I'm listening to Mark Levin right now. He popped up on the website I'm reading this from. We were on guard, but suddenly all of our radar systems shut down without any explanation. The witness said the next thing we saw were drones, a lot of drones, flying over our positions. We didn't know how to react. The witness described watching roughly 20 U.S. soldiers deploy out of roughly 8 helicopters over the base. They were technologically very advanced, the guard said. They didn't look anything like we fought against before. We were hundreds, but had no chance. They were shooting with such precision and speed, it felt like each soldier was firing 300 rounds per minute. The witness then describes U.S. deploying some sort of sonic weapon against Venezuelan forces. At one point, they launched something, I don't know how to describe it, he said. It was like a very intense sound wave. Suddenly, I felt like my head was exploding from the inside. We all started bleeding from the nose, he added. Some were vomiting blood. We fell to the ground, unable to move. We couldn't even stand up after the sonic weapon or whatever it was. Those 20 men without single casualty killed hundreds of us. We had no way to compete with their technology, with their weapons. I swear I've never seen anything like it.
So this could be war propaganda, first and foremost.
Well, when you're weak, you appear strong. I don't think we're weak, but you know,
$100 trillion military.
Yeah,
David, just for photographic memory's sake, can you type in U.S. officials experienced attack at Havana embassy? And I believe that these officials, they thought it was a sonic weapon originally. We covered on the program.
Sonic attack suffered by U.S. diplomats likely caused. This is December 5th, 2025 or 2020. Sorry.
2020.
Yeah, sonic attack suffered by U.S. diplomats likely caused by microwave energy. Microwave energy, government study says. The mysterious head injuries suffered by U.S. diplomatic staff in China and Cuba that had been described as sonic attacks are consistent with the use of directed microwave energy. Overall, directed pulsed radio frequency energy, especially in those with the distinct early manifestations, appear to be the most plausible mechanism in explaining these cases among these committee considered. The report added that it considered possible incidents of persistent postural perceptual dizziness as a possible secondary issue and some of the affected contributing factor. While the report does not conclude that the use of directed microwave energy in these instances was done deliberately, it said it wasn't done deliberately. Okay, accidentally. It said such action could be used for nefarious purposes. Oops, I accidentally used directed. It's in the name. It's called directed microwave energy.
Directed microwave energy to later be used in Venezuela to steal their oil.
The mere consideration of such a scenario raises grave concerns about a world with disinhibited malevolent actors and new tools for causing harm to others. You don't fucking say, CNN 5 fucking years ago. No way. Who would have thunk?
There's no way that the United States has sound weapons, David. That's science fiction. 5 years ago, Dave and I covered it on the program. I think this was talked about multiple times because at first they said, oh, they were attacked. You'd be like, oh, that's weird. And then they're like, oh, it was like a sonic weapon. We're like, oh, that's really weird. And then they said, no sonic weapon. And then it was a sonic weapon.
Well, just think
sounds
5
like
years
a
from
list.
now, we'll talk about blasting lasers from space and taking out, people's nations' leaders. Oh, that's a conspiracy, really? Because I remember talking about that a long fucking time ago, too.
The Russians only shot a guy next to his wife through a windshield from space with a laser beam.
Using AI recognition database from fucking space.
Hitler with smartphones. Fuck you up.
You know what's actually super, super, super crazy is that, like, I very specifically remember the Jewish space laser, right? Was like this thing that we were talking about, but everyone said it was this big conspiracy theory, and then they were like, "Whoa, oh, by the way, here's the Iron Beam. Look over here." And
Dragon's breath.
Space laser.
Dragon's breath.
A president can only pardon federal crimes, not state crimes. When Trump deploys sonic weapons on civilians, Minnesota can still prosecute him. Yeah, I forgot how we stumbled upon this in another instance too, and I don't remember why, but it was something like Trump. Oh, it's man, who was it? It was somebody in Arizona. She was part of she got prosecuted by Arizona specifically. It has to do with the 2020 elections. And Trump.
Oh yeah, she flipped, right?
Well, Trump was going to pardon her and couldn't because it was a state prosecution, not a federal prosecution. But a state governor, if I'm not mistaken, you get her up. Correct me if I'm wrong on this. A governor could pardon somebody from a state prosecuted crime. I believe that's something the governor of that state can do. That's very accurate. Sonic weapons is fucking madness. That's crazy. Imagine being a part of that, dude. And you're gonna laugh when I say this, but like, imagine being that guy, like, and kind of not knowing what's happening because the whole thing was like so fast, like it literally was like a blink of an eye. Like
it's like you got attacked by Iron Man.
Well, I was gonna say like aliens, like it was like an alien invasion for them because they were just so outmatched by the technology. It would be like a UFO coming to Earth and just laser beaming a bunch of people and like taking the president away. We'd be like, what the fuck just happened? Holy shit. We were bleeding from our eyes. Our ass hurts. Like, it would be the craziest thing because they
like you flying a helicopter over like prehistoric non-continent contacted human tribe,
Yeah, it would just be like
like
such a
throwing arrows at you.
Yeah, like just fucking you. They must have been so fucking blown away by what was happening. And how do you defend against that? You just start fucking firing and hope for the best, I guess. Like, I don't fuck. What the fuck are we supposed to do?
I wonder if they
Out
use the
front.
sonic weapons to tell the drug cartel that we will fuck you up. Like, you can have bazookas, but we'll just.
Almost like they only like they didn't have to use the sonic weapons. They just did to kind of get the story out there. Like, by the way, if we have to, I will make you bleed from the ears, and I don't even have to be in your country to do it.
I will drop 20 people off to kill hundreds, and they will hit you with hypersonic weapons. They're
Imagine
literal
just.
Aquaman in you.
I mean, I don't know enough, but like this technology obviously does exist. Like, what are the odds we could just missile hypersonic weapons into people's like? I mean, it sounds
Fifth
I know that sounds
dimensional
great.
missiling, David.
There's no way we couldn't just mail a hypersonic missile to like the leader of Iran. Like everybody just starts
Metaphysical missile,
bleeding from
dude.
the ears. Yeah, like you could. The amount of stuff we can do is fucking asinine.
Well, it makes you wonder why they allow it to happen if it's really to help like everybody on the globe. Like, you really think it's good to have dictators in power? Like, we made the joke half jokingly. Now that you've done this to Venezuela, when's Xi Jinping?
Yeah, like what's stopping you? If this is about bringing democracy, because this was their selling point. Well, Maduro wasn't the rightfully elected president of that country. We believe the election was stolen. By the way, we're not going to do anything about the elections in our country, and then go back to podcasting Dan Bongino. But like, you're going to do it in Venezuela because it's not a democracy. But like, I don't know, China has a president for life.
And the
Putin's
People's
winning
Republic.
elections. Yeah, Putin's winning elections 99-1. Like,
blowing up apartment complexes that his opponent sleeps in.
Yeah, accidentally, non-directed. And we're just supposed to.
It's an non-directed energy weapon.
It was a non-directed directed weapon.
Oh, Dave, that must be one of those magic energy deflection devices.
It was a magic directed bullet.
Yeah, that's what killed JFK, was a fucking non-direct. Fuck, dude, wrong gun. We grabbed the energy.
Just started bleeding from his ears before he was hit with that bullet. Yeah, I don't know.
It was definitely not an energy weapon.
No idea.
They colloquially brag about having energy weapons, like we got energy weapons, directed, non-directed types.
I mean, to your point, like, what is the actual thing stopping you from just going in? Because now they've been talking about Iran, they're talking about Mexico.
Go do it. Yeah, we heard about the fucking Palestine, Hamas. Go get them. Go Batman everybody on Earth, and then we'll see what happens. Because
how much worse does it look? Like the Venezuela thing, everybody just seems to be pointing on the fact that Venezuela had like the world's largest stockpile of oil. And if you do it in Venezuela because of democracy, but you don't do it in like China because of democracy, like, how much more does it seem like we're right that this was about oil?
What the fuck does Vladimir Putin think? Like, has he been on record saying something about the Venezuela attack?
He did. He condemned it. And people were like, well, that's rich coming from you. It's like, well, listen, I get it. But at the same time, like, dude, if Putin's the one calling us out, maybe we need to do some real fucking deep internal searching. That's a look in the mirror moment. The second Putin calls you out for attacking another nation, and we start to think Putin might be onto something, like, I don't know, we might need to start looking inside at ourselves.
Well, Dave, we know why that doesn't happen.
We didn't get to nearly as much stuff as I wanted to, but before we head out, and I know we're right about the end of the show, I have to talk about, we just have to. If it's quick, it's quick. The man running for governor of Florida, his name is James Fishback, I believe. And I don't know what it is about Florida, but they just find the dorkiest fucking people possible to run for governor and win governor. Ron DeSantis. And I'm not saying, like, let me just say this. I understand the sentiment, right, of what he's getting at. But I'm just going to put it up there, and I'm even going to play, to be fair, I'm going to play the response as well. I swear to God, this man is running for governor of Florida. Jesus Christ. I've been to Florida. There's like a lot of really pretty cool people in Florida. Like, there's no way you can't find someone who's not this to run.
I want to break some news here with you, Joel. I hadn't planned to do this, but allow me to do it, which is that as Florida governor in year one, I will push for the first of its kind OnlyFans sin tax. If you are a so-called OnlyFans creator in Florida, you are going to pay 50% to the state on whatever you so-called earn via that online degeneracy platform. And that money will be used to fund our education system, will be used to fund the crisis pregnancy centers, will be used to fund the first of its kind mental health czar for men in particular. Because
Okay, I don't need to play the whole fucking
Florida
thing.
went full red pill. Literally going full red
You
pill.
get the gist.
Florida's going full red pill.
To be clear, just to set my position perfectly fucking crystal clear, completely anti OnlyFans. I think it's completely propped up by extremely weak, sad men, and it's not a good thing. And it is in fact bad. He brought up mental health. It is in fact terrible for your mental health. And in fact, I think the reason you're there most of the time, anyway, is because you're already not in a good mental health state. But I don't know if I love this answer of a 50% tax. Now, just to be fair, I am going to play the response of an OnlyFans model who felt like she was called out, and she goes on to make her case as well.
Never in my whole life did I think that I would wake up and see a Florida politician trying to start beef with me for clout. So he's proposing a sin tax on bops where we would have to pay 50% to the state on top of the 37 I already paid to the government. And I would be more than happy to pay that if multi-billion-dollar corporations were also being properly taxed. But surprise, they're not. I never usually get into politics, but there are clearly better ways to raise funds from actual corrupt businesses in our country. I think that people also fail to realize that there are so many creators on this platform that do this job because they're struggling. So to tax them like that when they're literally doing it just to support their families is sad. I would much rather continue donating directly to people in need because we all really know where our tax dollars go. Never in my whole life.
We also this whole idea of like girls saving their family and stuff is rare. Dave and I we looked up what the average OnlyFans model makes.
It's like nothing. It's dead.
It's $200 a year. So like, yeah, just stop.
Can I tell you?
That's the 70% of them.
In that whole pathetic exchange, and when I say whole pathetic exchange, I'm talking about both of them specifically. She actually does end up, whether on purpose or accidentally, making a very good point, which is the idea that the money that goes to the government is well spent is a fucking joke.
Yeah. Her corrupt business thing was perfect.
She's actually not entirely wrong about a lot of what she said.
She should run for governor of Florida.
She should run for governor. She seems way cooler than James Fishback.
Way cooler.
James Fishback is
Isn't that the one that is the highest paid one? She claims to be a virgin. Isn't that the one?
Was she the one who claimed to be a virgin? Was she the one who just got baptized?
No, that was Bonnie Blue, I think.
No, I don't think it was. She was the one who did the thing with Tate. There's too many of them. I think that's part of the issue.
Too many bops, dude.
Too many bops. She actually said the word bops in her rebuttal to a governor. We live in
what they're called.
Wild times.
That's what they're called. They refer to themselves as that.
She did. Literally, she said bops. It's fucking crazy. Yeah, I don't know. Like, can we get a not complete dork running for governor in Florida? I can't. I can't do dorks. The guy's a dork. He might be completely right about so many things. He might be very smart, highly intelligent, great statesman, right? We're describing Ron DeSantis. Fucking dork. I can't. Dude, and here's why. Because it seems so superficial. But here's the problem with having complete dweebs like be a governor or a president. they're going to hit the main stage and they're going to have to actually be men and duke it out with other men in a world stage. And I don't know. Here's my thing. We had Christian on, right, on the show, and we talked about Ron DeSantis. He's a big Ron DeSantis guy, and I like Ron DeSantis as a statesman. He does fine. He's great at creating policy and stuff. But I couldn't imagine a world where we have a guy like this James Fishback. Like, let's say he becomes governor of Florida. Florida continues to boom because he's a good statesman and policyman, right? He runs for president. He wins. Oh my God, it's amazing. James Fishback is now the president, right? And then that guy's going to go on a world stage and like discuss foreign policy with Putin. Putin would bareback ride a bear while he like slap shot a fucking hockey puck 110 miles an hour. Like, dude, those two are not even in the same, they're not even the same species of people. I don't want this fucking dork going to Russia and trying to intimidate Putin. I know I just went from, but like, he just debated an OnlyFans girl. Like, are we really at this point? Or a bop, Ryan.
Yeah, she's worth like she made more money than LeBron last year.
This guy has never touched a girl, and he's going to talk
She made more money than LeBron James did.
100%. We covered that. That's fucking madness. I presume, by the way, like if I were to guess, they are probably on some form of like 1099 or something, taxable income. They probably maybe they file shit quarterly or something. Like, I don't know. Like, what are you going to, I don't think this is like a revenue stream of income like a normal 9 to 5. Like, I don't know if you just like, what is this 50% tax going to look like? And like, to her point, like how efficiently is that money going to be spent by the government? I just, like, it's the sentiment. I hate OnlyFans. I'm all for this idea of like just bankrupting these fucking already morally bankrupt people. But I don't know. Are we really solving any problems?
Well, David, clearly, you and I have said before that if we can call it from our couch, how come you can't? And if a bop has a better plan to fix policy than people running in government,
We got the wrong people in government.
Yeah, you got the wrong people in government, and you know that, like, one, I don't think people are dumb as they think we are, and I also think way more people see the fish in the fishbowl than before. And I think we may be in the first time in human history that we're all looking in on the sharks, being able to drown them. It's kind of crazy. But if a whore can tell the difference, why the fuck can't you? Dave Ryan, December 1773. Catch us on Rumble as we try to get 100,000 views before Assassination Day. As always, David, I appreciate you the most. I'll see everybody soon.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Ryan.
Go Bills.